Hello, I'm Alicia and welcome to Mobility Mastery Monday, your weekly source for the best tips and tools for pain relief and feeling unstoppable. For today's episode, you're going to need a lacrosse ball, and I'm going to show you how to release your pecs and front deltoid, and specifically pec minor because that tends to be one of the biggest issues for shoulder issues, neck issues, stuff like that. Pec major, not so much of a problem. But before we get to the lacrosse ball technique, I'm going to put it down and actually show you something I like to start with before going to the lacrosse ball for the pecs. And basically that is doing a PNF stretch for pec minor specifically. Now, if I'm going to go work out, I like to work out with a trainer once or twice a week, and I do a mobility routine before that. This is one of the things that I almost always do is this particular stretch I'm about to show you, followed by the lacrosse ball for the pecs and front deltoid. So what you're going to do is basically come to a pole, or you could do it in a doorway, and basically you want a straight arm. The palm of your hand is going to go into the pole. You want a 45-degree angle. If you're here, it's going to only get biceps, won't really do any good for that pec minor. So you want to be at 45 degrees. And then you're going to step away from your arm. And make sure you're not stepping out and letting that arm slide down. And then here's the PNF part. And PNF stands for proprioceptive neuromuscular facilitation, which is really a fancy way of saying we're going to trick your muscle and fascial fibers to allow for greater stretch. And I like PNF stretching far better than static stretching. And this is a really good one for bringing the shoulders back and down where they're supposed to be. So you're going to step away so you reach kind of like a really good stretch here. You should feel it right here. So you're going to be pushing into the pole, but you won't see me doing that because the pole is in the way. And you don't need to use a lot of muscle force, just a little bit. So I'm taking myself as far as I can, and then I'm pushing into the pole for about 3 seconds. And then I'm going to put some slack back into that system, and then do it again, and you should be able to go further each time, and then you're going to push again, and then put some slack back in, go a little further, push one more time. I generally like to do this about 3 times, and then on the last one, I'm just going to hold it for like 20-30 seconds, just to let that stretch sink in. And I'm not going to hold it the whole time. You can do that on your own, but and I'm not going to go more into PNF stretching today. There's going to be another video for that. But I really like to do that one before going into the chest fascia and opening that up. All right, so now we're going to go into the chest with the lacrosse ball. You're going to need a pole or doorway, something like that, but we're going to be moving our arm around it so you can't use a wall. So I'm going to just kind of stick the lacrosse ball there and then put my chest into it. And you want to be kind of in the hole there, not on any bones. So I'm not on my shoulder bone there, or the joint. I'm not on the collarbone, I'm not on my ribs. There's a nice little pocket for that ball. And then I'm going to use my other hand to stabilize that ball in that spot, because remember, we're always trying to pin and stretch. The point with this one is not to roll that ball around the chest. And then I'm going to use my arm to stretch. And if you want to really get the most bang for your buck on this one, you're going to want to take your head away from it. But for the purposes of this video, I'm going to be looking at you so I can talk to you and tell you what to do. But just another reminder, if you want to make the most out of this one, take your head the opposite direction from whatever side you're doing. So in this case, it would be to my left. Now I'm going to use my arm and basically start moving it. I'm going to hold that ball in place slowly up and out into that 45-degree motion. And that's going to get that pec minor again. So that is a really good one to do. And when you get to that end, like, make sure you're really reaching through that whole arm and even spreading your fingers wide. So that's an option for this one. Another one that I like to do is kind of just rotating forwards and backwards. You may need to hunt around for where your elbow needs to be. Generally, the higher past shoulder level, the better. But just play around, it might be different for you. Now you can reach across. You can reach down. Here's a really good one. This is probably my top 2 picks for this. Let's say you're in a hurry and you just want to get the most out of it, would be this one I'm about to show you, and then that reaching to 45 degrees. Rotating and kind of moving towards shoulder level and past it. Now if you want to get a little bit more weight into it, you can lower yourself a little bit, step away from the pole, so you can get more body weight into that chest. Like that's actually a lot better for me. So again, this is what I might look like when I'm doing it on my own. Just playing around with where the tightness is. You just want to hunt it out and then stretch it. While you're at it, you might as well get your front deltoid. A lot of the time if you're tight in the chest, you're going to be tight in the front deltoid, and this is going to take any of you that are like forward rotated like this back where you're supposed to be. And so the front deltoid is very close to the chest. That's why I just kind of like to combine the two. So very similarly, you're going to be putting your weight into the shoulder, but instead of in that pocket, we're going to go right on that deltoid. You're just kind of going to hunt out that sore spot in there. If nothing's sore, you probably don't need to do this. But again, I really like rotating. This one's very good for that deltoid. Those are probably my top 2 for how to do this one. Reaching, that's okay. That's pretty good. But really, rotating is probably one of the best ones and the easiest. It's easiest to pin yourself to the ball and move through that rotation. And just don't be afraid to hunt around for the best spot. And then have at it. I hope this has been helpful. If you did find it useful, please like and share. And if you want the full blog post that goes along with this video with more information on how to get the most out of it, you can click the link right below the YouTube video. And I will see you next time on Mobility Mastery Monday.